Hello, everyone. It is Steph. This week, I want to take a look at James Clear's recommendations around habit stacking and how I've personally used this to help me create a couple of habits that I was really struggling with before. But when I figured out how to habit stack them, now they're just an ingrained part of my day or my week. So one is professional and one is personal. So the professional example is earlier this year, I was doing the video series around Cal Newport's slow productivity. And I really embraced what he recommended in terms of setting aside these chunks of time where you could be more contemplative and really think your way through a project instead of just being in motion all of the time. So there's 1 2 hour block that I set aside every week. And it's my slow productivity time where I think about projects and I think about like what I want those projects to result in and how they can help my clients. And I need to sit with this stuff for a while and figure it out. And I was doing this on Monday afternoons. And it turned out Monday afternoons were a horrible time for me to schedule that because it was just easy for me to say, oh, other things take priority, other things are coming up. And I was making it very easy on myself to just schedule over that time and not protect it. But something that I realize about myself is I like to have sort of a sense of completion, and I have these rhythms to my day, sort of, my beginning ritual, my midday ritual, and my end of day ritual. And my midday ritual is to have a nice lunch break where I eat a civilized meal. I'm not gobbling food down in front of the computer. Like, I walk away, I have some tech-free time, I eat my lunch, put my brain in a jar, rest a little bit before I start my afternoon. And because I like this sense of completion, I realized if I put my 2 hour block before lunch, and I knew that there was kind of this deadline, if you will, of stopping for lunch, it made me protect that time and it made me very focused and very efficient in how I was using that time because I knew there was no other place to put that in the day or the week. Like, that was my shot at the title. And if I kept that appointment with myself and had a sense of accomplishment around how I used that time, I really celebrated that before I broke for lunch. And so there's just something about that need to have that sense of completion by midday around something important that I tapped into. And so I created a rhythm for that new habit at a time in the day that worked for me. And I glued it onto the concept of having lunch. And as small and as silly as that sounds, it works. So don't judge whether you need to do something like, attach one habit to another and intellectually you think this is really dumb. Like, this is just silly that it should make this big of a difference. Don't worry about it. If it makes a positive difference, do it. It doesn't matter what it is. And speaking of silly, but like in the most delightful way, one thing that gets me out of bed in the morning, and this is the personal habit that I've created. One thing that gets me out of bed in the morning and gets me on my daily walk to make sure I get in my daily exercise, which is something, a lot of us entrepreneurs, we have a hard time with. Like, we all know that taking care of our physical selves and not just cranking out mental work all day is important, but we don't always set aside the time to do that. We don't always protect that time. And one thing that got me into the habit of getting out of bed in the morning and not just laying there and, getting on social media, but getting up, getting my exercise clothes on, getting out the door, is I love listening to audiobooks or long format podcasts, and make it something that you really enjoy. If I am forcing myself to listen to something because I think it's good for me and it's another vitamin that I have to take, right? That's not really an incentive to get out of bed early in the morning and get in my exercise. But if I pick something that's just delicious and entertaining, and yes, it can be informative, but whatever lights you up, right? Like right now, I am listening to Jeff Hiller's audiobook memoir, An Actress of a Certain Age. and he's hilarious. He's such a good character actor. He's so funny and warm and charming, and the way that he reads his own memoir is delightful. I want to get up in the morning and I want to spend an hour with Jeff Hiller because he's great. So pick something, like that. If you're trying to develop a habit, attach it to something that you already want to accomplish and you already do with a lot of ease and a lot of joy, and then just kind of hitch to that wagon, right? The new habit that you're trying to form. It helps a lot. So now I'm more productive at work and I'm working on my business and I'm getting up in the morning and I'm taking care of myself and I'm getting in my walk, all because I've attached one thing that I'm trying to do with something else that's already formed or it's already of interest to me. So give that a try. If you're really struggling with forming some new habits and adopting choices or behavior that you know intellectually are good for you, but like behaviorally, you're just like, you're having a bit of a ride on the struggle bus, reach out. That's what I'm here for. Hope that's some food for thought. And I will see you in a couple of weeks with a new topic. So in the meantime, take care. Good luck with your habits, and I will see you soon. Bye all.